I think terms are a bad idea. I mean, just look at Donald Trump. His approval ratings have gone to shit. There are rallies and protests happening demanding that he forfeit the position. But there is no legal way to take away his power besides impeachment. And even that doesn't matter because he got impeached twice and still became president. We create an online system. We allow anyone who fulfills the condition of becoming a president to become a candidate on that system, so that we have more candidates than just Trump and Kamala. And then we simply have an always voting policy, and also use approval voting because my god, first past the post is so bad and wouldn't even work when we have more candidates anyway, because it will always lead to two candidate systems and the votes being split. And the president is the president so long as he has the highest number of approvals amongst all the candidates in that system. If a different candidate gets more approvals, then that person will become the president. Some people that I talk to complain that this will create instability, but people aren't dumb. Just like you, many people are worried about instability too. People can just talk to one another and decide who should get the approvals for now from a civilized discussion. And even then, opinions are not random. There probably won't be instability in the first place. If someone like Bernie Sanders gets to be president in this system, his approvals will just keep increasing and increasing. The more power he has, the more things he will do to help the average American. And the more good things he does, his approvals rise. So effectively, if people somehow land on a really great person as a president, the approvals will just keep rising and rising. But if you land on someone who just got in power because of lying and being rich, then that person will just start losing approvals for doing jack shit or doing things for their own benefit. People aren't dumb, but they are. Half of Americans are barely sapient. They are not that bad. However, based on their last grocery bill, Trump supporters are a minority. This will create a tribe of numerous candidates constantly playing musical chairs cause of approval dipping and rising. The reason Trump is president now is because only people from a recognized political party can become a candidate, and that has to be confirmed by a judge. So ultimately, the corruption starts there. Then the inner corruption of the Republican Party makes it so that there can't be true democratic decision from the party anyway. And even if it can, that party is just bad. Nah, you saw it yourself. Approvals don't dip or rise without reason. Albanian census approval for judge has been 7. Mine as an admin has been 4 for a good while now. Approvals are decided by people's opinions, and opinions don't change randomly. If approvals dip or rise by a large amount, it's because that person did something really good or really bad and people have been largely informed about it. Also, in an always voter, what do you do about people who vote once and never vote again? Why do you need to do something about those people? People who are interested in politics participate in politics. If you don't have any interests, it's okay not to participate. Trump supporters are a minority. He won! Twice! That's because the American Constitution and the elections are so corrupted. His supporters are not a minority, and he had popular vote both times. No, one time. Even if they are more passionate about the candidate than others. If you allowed anyone, literally allowed anyone who wanted to become a candidate to become an actual candidate and be on the ballot, and then use approval voting and further use this termless always voting system, Trump will not last. I mean, clearly not, because he already won popularity contest once. I don't doubt your intentions. They are in the right place. The GOP is entirely being held together by financing of billionaires. There is some crazy MAGA propaganda that billionaires also finance, which is used for brainwashing. And if you don't like Democrats, you don't have much of an option besides GOP. Only way to ensure he doesn't last is a little fixing. rig the votes against them. This idea also hurts progressive candidates. Conservatives already got their guide. They will settle on who the progressives got. What if Obama and Bernie both have parties? If you stop with this party system and just allowed anyone who wanted to be in certain position to become a candidate for that position without this bullshit of having to be in a party and that party approving you to be on the list along with Georgia approval of that party, and also use approval voting because my god, first past the post literally is the worst thing. Also, Trump lost the popularity vote against Hillary, and there could have been some hacking when it comes to Kamala because of Elon. They will split the votes because progressives aren't as unified in their ideas. That's why I'm saying use approval voting. And what the hell is this electoral college nonsense? It literally stole the election from Hillary in 2016. I think the very first thing that Americans should do is that they should rally and protest on the basis that they should write the Constitution. You have an online system, anyone can create their version of the Constitution and write it. Maybe allow one person to have 5 versions of the Constitution so that the person can experiment with different constitutions. Then people can use approval voting to vote on the Constitution, and the Constitution with the highest approval becomes the actual Constitution. And in that Constitution you provide everything I wrote above. But truly, Trump supporters are a minority. It became news that Bernie's rally actually has the highest member count in history. It's just that when the Constitution is so old and bad, the Supreme Court so corrupt, and when you're using secret ballot, electoral college, first past the post voting, winner take all voting, the billionaires owning the millions supporting GOP, all of this bullshit combined is when you get Trump. I mean, does Constitution cause what's happening? Yes it does. What's in the Constitution that causes this? Like which parts? Because if anything, both the last presidents just wipe their ass with it and do whatever. The electoral college, while it didn't matter in Kamala versus Trump, it mattered and made Hillary lose. In the United States, the electoral college is a group of presidential electors that is formed every 4 years during the presidential election for the sole purpose of voting for the president and vice president. This process is described in the Article 2 of the Constitution. Actually, Trump supporters are the most adamant about changing it. I'm sure that we wouldn't like that, because nobody besides them really cares about that. The Supreme Court decides which parties are eligible for the election, and the Supreme Court is stated to serve for life without an election themselves in the Constitution. Yes, it's really bad, but it has to be said. Trump criticizes the Constitution because he wants something worse. I'm criticizing the Constitution because I want something better. This is not a contradiction. I'm just worried about your ideas, like it doesn't change the game that much. The players are the exact same. You really underestimate how much it changes, and it becomes more fierce. No, I get how much it changes. I could try to simulate an experiment on the server, like tomorrow we could try having electoral college parties and first past the post, and you'll realize how worse they are from what we have now. Unfortunately though, in order to have parties, we need more people. But back on topic, it has to be said that terms, anyone serving for 4 years without contest will usually lead to corruption. I mean, think about it. If I hire a janitor and I say to that janitor, you will work here for 4 years, and no matter how badly you perform, we won't fire you. Do you think that janitor will do their job? If they do really well all 4 years, know well that the person themselves are an amazing human being. The real life Peter Parker, Shiro Emiya, Ruby Rose, Naruto, whatever hero you may know. But you can't fire them. Yes, but you can't fire the president in that 4 year. That's the analogy. The only way to fire the president is impeachment, or burn the country down. And considering how stupid we made the election by not making it online, we effectively are using old ass technology to do elections, which is wasting time, lots of paper and human resources. Which is to say that it's making impeachment even harder. Not to mention that the people doing the impeachment aren't the public, but the Congress, and the Congress is also corrupt because they also work with terms and aren't accountable and can do whatever they want for 4 years. Politics is corrupt because immunity and terms create grounds for corruption. I mean, paper waste on electrons and that like weeks us of an argument. What like little square piece of paper need to be optimized that we use once every 4 years? Even then, time is still an issue. Going to the polling station is just annoying, especially if you have work. And if we tried having an always voting system without the internet, we'll have to go to the polling station every time we want to change our vote. It's pretty obnoxious. That's why you are given like weeks to do it. Not here, you've got about 16 hours, lol. The problem exactly is that we are voting only once every 4 years, when in reality, voting should be a lifestyle. Voting and opinions should matter more than money, more than your bachelor degrees. I made this server specifically to show that voting can be a lifestyle. It's extremely important and the best way to make decisions. Dude, like structuring your whole life around voting on every president or military commander is disruptive to life. Then like going to school once every 4 years. This is why Greeks chose not to do this more than 2,000 years ago, by the way. They have them in schools around my heart. Do you know how corrupt the military is because of the lack of elections for generals? In my country, we are forced to go to the military work if we are healthy. A lot of people who work in the military are super rude, there is bullying, and people died there in my country. And the worst thing is that they don't teach you much at all. You may learn to shoot and fight a little, but otherwise you're wasting your time. That's just military. There has to be a way to make it better. Yeah, don't have mandatory conscription and you can just forget about it. You can start that for a change. Teach useful skills. Let the soldiers have salaries. Use those human resources to better the country by building infrastructure. Instead of forcing people, have benefits that make people want to go there. Allow people to actually freaking see their families and do something to make the actions happening there transparent. You can also teach how to become a cop and vice versa in both, so soldiers still have a job after graduation. Simply electing the right general could instantly make us see results. Yeah, in this system, what happens when we're halfway through something and everyone changes votes against it and it needs to be ripped out and started again? I really wouldn't like to vote on generals who are in control of armed forces if they're corrupt and feel their positions threatened, especially if everyone can see who voted for what. Like, that's a recipe for awesomeness. It can happen, I'm not lying. But if you do everything right, exactly as I said, then the person who is elected most likely is a really popular and good person. And newsflash, if someone is liked enough to be elected from thousands of candidates using approval voting, most likely that person is a good person, like Bernie. And good people would naturally want to continue the works of yesterday if said works were good. Being stripped out of the hellhole Trump is creating is a good thing. My god, I wish someone ripped us out of Trump and started things again. And you think those super corrupt people will leave you alone if you don't vote and don't challenge them and don't try to take away their powers? They will retaliate when their power is challenged, but you think they will magically be harmless if their power isn't challenged? That's just your cowardice speaking. Justice arrives when the good guys fight for it. Nothing in life is cheap. Hold on, thousands of candidates? How am I meant to fish through that shit? It's your democratic duty. Yes, in this system, since anyone who desires the position can become a candidate, there will be thousands if not millions of candidates. You don't need to know everyone. Just listen to a few people. If you like someone, you search on the system of that person's name and just press the approve button. You can approve as many people as you want, so no vote splitting. It's that simple. So it's actually just who has the biggest reach, not the best candidate. Not necessarily. Which will probably be the already entrenched powers, because they have the most resources. What the fuck, Discord? Scott from Northeast Montana, who works 9 to 5 at Walmart customer phone line versus multi-billion-dollar resource guy. Who wins? You decide. I win. For example, in this system, Elon Musk will have insane reach because he owns X, SpaceX, Tesla, and many more, and is popular. But if he becomes a candidate, people won't approve of him because he's an evil Nazi and trying to destroy America. People know that. Bernie is a has a huge advantage because he finally is actually on the ballot in the first place, and when you're using approval voting, there's no vote splitting, so many people will vote for him. And as I have mentioned, his rally is pretty big. In absolute grounds, while Bernie Sanders draws record crowds in a rally. Remember, Bernie Sanders' rally is bigger than Trump's, meaning that in actuality, Bernie Sanders has a bigger following than Trump. I think a lot of people would approve of Elon Musk. Lol. Musk has never publicly spoken like Bernie, because he knows he will make some mistakes and get shit on. But I know Musk will have a lot of advantage. Yeah, what about the guy who's better than Bernie who can't campaign? What about him? But that doesn't matter. The very fact that Scott from Northeast Montana, who works 9 to 5 at Walmart customer phone line, can be on the ballot and can campaign against Musk, Trump, etc. is a revolution. He already can be on the ballot, and that probably does better already. He can't. What are you talking about? In order to be on the ballot, you essentially have to be in either Democrat Party or Republic, which is a fascist hellhole, and those parties have to appoint one person as a candidate for the presidential election. There is no way a person who is super good and is going to tax the rich like Bernie will be able to be on the ballot this way. Those candidates don't win outside of the local towns, though. Dude, what are you talking about? We all know that Trump and Kamala were the only ones on the ballot. It has been this way for a long time. Vote once every 4 years. We choose from 2 people and we pretend this is democracy, which is to be expected. But to introduce 6 trillion options and suddenly random guy wins? No, the current big players still win. Like what? True voters know the ballot goes in the ballot box and then it's set on fire unless it's a Trump vote. I'm not saying Musk, Trump doesn't have an advantage. They do, because they're rich and they own the media and the government is supporting them. But don't underestimate people's intelligence. So long as people can actually make it on the ballot, and we are using open ballot so hacking doesn't exist and people can know who voted for who for better decision making, approval voting, anything is possible. Why doesn't hacking exist? If we implement this new system, then maybe possibly something could change. Possibly. If Scott from Northeast Montana, who works 9 to 5 at the Walmart customer phone line, just records an emotional video, promises good things, and that video goes viral, then anything's possible. So long as the name is on the ballot, anything is possible. Dude. Because open ballot is too secure, it's impossible to hack it. You will just check the citizen register list with every voter. No chance for bots, double votes, or anything to happen. Dude, when Pelosi's husband got beat by a hammer, Republicans mocked her and their base. Now an emotional video will sway them. That doesn't prevent hacking. Now let's talk about emotional video thing. Has anyone hacked Among Us? Now come on, look into that. Under this system, you see the best candidate will win because this system is perfect. The best candidate has to be found under 6 more people. If the stars align and Allah comes down from the heavens, maybe they could win. That already exists. See if anyone fucked Among Us forums. Tell me, how are you gonna hack a system where everything is transparent? You can't make a bot votes because all the votes are aligned with the citizen registry, so no AI made profiled bot votes. You can't change people's vote by hacking because people will instantly report, oh, my vote just changed. I didn't vote for this. And then the programs and admins will fix it. You say this like only a handful of people will be impacted by the hack. But what if a hacker changes every vote or adds a massive amount of fake votes into the database? There's no fixing that manually. What if the voting platform is down because of hackers? Well, why doesn't the Russian hackers just hack your bank accounts and make everyone's bank account zero? Oh yeah, because they really can, because it's too hard to do that. Every voter gets a different question asked. Because Russians don't give a fuck about me, because specifically, but I think they'd be a bit more interested in nationwide elections. Vladimir Putin, when he sees the 25 pound in my bank account after 20 hours of solid work to get in. Yeah, the average individual is literally nothing to the world at large. Isn't that the novel concept? Yeah, that's a more likely answer, but we're never safe from security breach. No one will go to those links to fuck up individually, but all. That can happen, but it doesn't matter. We have an always voting system. As soon as the server is back up, it's back to business. I admit, the ability to hack and clear everyone's vote into nothing is the most destructive. But that is so hard to do. It's very similar to trying to hack your bank accounts and making everyone's money zero. It's just so hard to do that. And if they do, people will just vote again, and that's just not a problem so long as we don't have terms and follow the always voting policy. No, hacking your bank account is very easy. What if I do it again for Trollface? Hello? You have a suspicious transaction. Please log in here to confirm. Also, wouldn't banks be able to do something on their end about making sure that money situation is figured out? Surely you could report it and be like, oh yeah, suddenly I have $0. Money is fake anyway, and the rich should be in their lives. Bank accounts don't publicly display their data. It's easier to protect it when you can encrypt it. Having the data publicly available will probably make it protecting it more difficult. Hello, you had no issue voting. Please follow this thing. Oh no, now you're taking my bank account. Like that shit wouldn't be easy in the first years. To be honest, I hate to say it, but the blockchain will be a good solution to the problem. However, the energy cost of such solution will be disastrous. Why you hate to say it? Dogecoin will be our official currency. I hate America and I'm moving to Greenland soon. I'm glad I'm not a US citizen. Real talk, though. Do you think Greenland will get acquired? You know the deal. Thumbs up yes, thumbs down no. Do you have any sources for this? The data being displayed doesn't make it easier to hack. What are you talking about? It makes it harder to hack because people will be constantly checking it with citizen registry to know if there are bot accounts, and the voters themselves will be checking to see if their votes are wrongly displayed. The transparency makes it too easy to notice attempts at hacking like that. I don't know about your account, but I don't want my bank info displayed publicly. Me when the race mixing results drop and the KKK have full access to my name and address. Hacking doesn't need to be unnoticed. It can just be destructive where nobody could do anything about it. Trust me, it's good. People don't give a shit about your account. But knowing how much the billionaires own, what they own, and how they guard it is very important. But you're serious. Scammers try to get all about public bank accounts. Someone is interested in my stuff. Like, do you even have a bank account? I cannot doubt you even have a job. I think you're lying to us. Publicly display your bank account details if that's good. Well, nobody can do anything about it. Why doesn't Russia hack everyone's bank account and make it zero? It would honestly be more effective than election rigging, but they can't. Election rigging is made too easy because of secret ballot. Since you can't know who voted for who, both the election administrators and voters themselves can't check if the votes are being recorded properly. Combined with the stupid idea of terms, once a president is president, you can't do a repoll, and the discovery of the hacking won't have any effect. 200 Mongolian rupees. So long as you don't have terms and have an always voting policy, any hacking attempt is ultimately futile. Is election rigging easy for? What's the numbers on that? Okay, sure. Oh yeah, now I'm displaying my bank account because it's about the message, not the money, I guess.